proudly sponsored by Globe Gas and Heating. For the best kitchen and bathroom renovations, boiler servicing and repair, and central and underfloor heating in the Northwest, head over to globecentralheating.com and quote Across the Park for a free quote. Welcome back to Across the Park podcast debut show of the Away Fan Review. And I have been Everton's. I put my hands up, said I'll do it, and I'm coming on. I don't know what I expected, really. Even the layout has gone a bit wrong on here. We've got live with StreamYard. We're hiding our sponsor, who was amazing, Globe Gas and Heating, as you've seen on the intro video there. But we're back with my friend Justin from Up the Villa. Justin, how are you feeling on this Sunday morning? A lot better than I am, I guess.
Over the moon, mate. Sorry to say for you.
Well, what we're going to do, it's a bit of a new show. We're going to just get your opinion on the game from your point of view, and also maybe give us your feedback on what you see of the Blues. I'll give mine as well. Initially going into it, I didn't expect much. I think the feeling on social media, feeling with a few of my friends, was it's going to be a long night. We find ourselves 2-0 up against the run of play. We were shocked. What was it like for you, Nick? Was it a bit of a couple of sucker punches and you were shocked yourselves, or?
We were shocked, yes. We was very shocked, yeah. It was. Look, I think we said when I on the preview show earlier in the week on your podcast, we ended with the sort of score prediction, and I thought, we could take it to the cleaners given form, but as I did add the caveat in the end, but you just never know with football, do you? And when the ball got whipped in and Calvert-Lewin headed in for the second, I was sort of sitting there thinking, it's a funny old game, isn't it, football? And look, Everton and every team in the Premier League possesses top players, don't they? And if you don't switch on at key moments, it's irrelevant when you've had 99% possession or 1% possession at a key moment. If like the first goal was a prime example of that, wasn't it? He nicks the ball, progresses 5 yards, and that's a shot, takes it early, wrong foots the keeper, through a couple of legs. Couldn't have gone anywhere else. It wouldn't have gone in anywhere else other than that bottom right corner. All of a sudden, you're 1-0 down. And you have to sort of take these things on the chin sometimes as a football fan, don't you? And I wasn't expecting the second, if I'm honest. But to be honest, when he got given the free kick on the touchline, I sort of thought you were going to score. I thought he's going to whip this in, they're going to score. And I have to say as well, I thought Dominic Calvert-Lewin was outstanding in the game. I thought he was really, really good. I thought he dominated our centre-halves. We're not the most physical centre-half, especially Pau Torres. And I think he isolated him and was really bullying him at times. And I thought, at those two moments, you just basically, you took your chances, didn't you? And I think to go and get an away win in the Premier League against one of the better sides, and I do count ourselves as one of the better sides at the moment, that's how you win a game away from home, isn't it? You get a chance and you score it, and 2-0 down. We were, I wouldn't say I was panicking, but I was concerned. I'll say that.
I think from my point of view, I didn't go to the game last night, but I was in our Everton WhatsApp group, and I think we all collectively agreed have to get to half time at 2-0. Have to get to half. Was your belief in the ground at that point that you had to score in the first half as well?
I felt like it was quite important to get at least one back before half time. And I felt obviously we dominated the ball, we dominated possession. I was looking at all the statistics, and apart from the 2 goals in the first half, there wasn't a lot. Although you did create a few chances in the second half, to be fair, which I'm sure we'll come on to. I thought one thing we don't do these days is panic on the pitch or off the pitch. And I think that you probably, if you'd have been in the ground, you'd have heard, nobody was really that massively, because I think if you get to the 60th, 70th, 80th minute and you're 2 down, then you think, okay, we're panicking now. But it was critical we got that goal back. I thought we worked it really well. I thought what went against you with that goal was losing your right back and having to put a different right back on.
So you had to switch Ashley Young.
You had to switch, back. Yes, that was it. Yeah, sorry, yeah. And it's not. And I think if you see the sort of still and how that goal came about, the ball was fed through to actually Luca Dean in absolutely acres down that left-hand side, and he stood the ball up really, really well. And I thought Watkins did, for his first goal of the season, I thought he did really well at back stick. I thought he could have defended it better. But yeah, that just gave us that foothold in the game. And weirdly, I sit next to one of my good friends, and we both said, I feel like I don't really want us to get level before half time. I know that sounds really weird, but I felt if we could get into half time and then score early in the second half, that would then give us the momentum to go on. I thought if we got equal, if we got level at half time, we'd have basically come out and started again, level. So I think, I was pleased we got that goal.
I watched the show you done with Dyche on Thursday evening, and you were talking about Amadou Onana quite a bit. I've got no doubt at all he started well at Villa. He has, and he sort of started well at us. And he's an emotional player, which if you support him, you connect with him because he likes to fist. He connects, he reaches out and he says the right things. I think the first time I've seen the other side of the emotion was last night. The game seems, because it was us, because ex-teammates, because he got a bit of stick in the fans. Didn't seem like he had the best of nights. I'm not too sure whether it was a tactical substitution or there was an injury, but were you quite surprised by how emotional he was playing last night?
I think Everton definitely highlighted him. I think they went after him a couple of times. I think he got a couple of knocks, a couple of late challenges, and I think you expect that when you come up against your old team. I think Calvert-Lewin wasn't backwards and coming forwards with a few of his challenges yesterday. And I've no problem with that. That's when your back's against the wall, you've got to come out fighting. And as a fan, I'd want to see my team do that. But I think they definitely went after him. And obviously, because they know him so well, it's easy to sort of play off his, if anybody's going to know his weaknesses, it's going to be Everton, his old teammates, isn't it? And I think he did get a knock. And I think that the sort of what's swirling around Villa is that he was taken off as a precaution. We played Champions League on Tuesday night. And we've signed Ross Barkley to play in that position. And I think it proved a very, very astute substitution, to be honest, because I thought Ross Barkley was absolutely outstanding in the second half.
He didn't lose the ball. It just seemed he was playing very simple. And Villa kept the ball when Ross Barkley had the ball. He didn't lose it.
Yeah, we've just done our debrief, to be fair, and one of the highlights we've picked up on is that at the first sort of 10, 15 minutes of the second half, Everton were trying to press Barkley which they did with Onana very well, which led to the first goal, and they nicked the ball off him. But I think what happened with Barkley was they were trying to nick it off him, but he was a bit more nice about it. He's got that experience, hasn't he? And that year at Luton where he has dropped back into this more withdrawal role in the double pivot, it's sort of reignited his career again. And I was really over the moon with signing him back, to be fair, and permanently, because I think he can really, we like this double pivot at Villa. We had Luiz and Kamara last season who were outstanding. Tielemans now, he's playing really, really well. And Arnold's been brought in to bring a bit more physicality to the role. But having Barkley on the bench to come on now, he knows he was almost a perfect substitution, calm everyone down. And I think after 10 minutes we're trying to press him and not getting the ball off him at all, you saw a switch then from Dyche when we got the second goal. It was right, okay, let's just hold on to 2-2 now. Let's go 5 at the back. Let's just try and defend for our lives. And if we do nick something on the break, which nearly happened a couple of times, fantastic. And they just sat off Barkley. They just let him have the ball in the end. And they were just trying to sort of, it seemed like Everton, instead of trying to press the ball and nick the ball off Barkley, they were trying to just cut off his routes into passes through the lines and, try and pick runners off and stuff like that. So I think he did really affect the game in a positive way for Villa.
He did, definitely. I was speaking to my ex-father-in-law just earlier, and he was of the opinion, look, Everton lost the game because of 3 mistakes. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. The Michael Keane, where he tries to backheader the first chance and Watkins dives over him. The Jack Harrison error. And then the third wasn't an error. It was just something special from Duran. It's not. I don't think any team in the world or any goalkeeper could really defend against moments like that. So I get where some people are saying we were quite unfortunate, but I think overall, the overall picture, when you look at how the game went, I think Villa were deserved winners. I don't think Everton deserved to come away. But from my point of view, you look at the Dominic Calvert-Lewin chance in the second half where he's clean through. The first one was like a centre half had been put through and he didn't know what to do. He seemed quite shocked. And do you look at that? And I'm sure you'll agree that Villa deserved to win. But do you look at that and think like, good God, we actually did get away with one there? When you think of the chances that Everton
massively, yeah. And I think one One of the things I highlighted when I spoke early in the week to you guys was what the concerning factor for Villa at the moment is we don't keep clean sheets. That's 12 games now without a clean sheet. We do concede goals. And I think one of the things is it's not switching off. I mean, every goal. I remember Graham Taylor saying once when he was a Villa manager and we finished runners up, you can track every single goal back to a mistake at some point.
Yeah.
So every goal comes from a mistake, generally speaking. Whether someone's lost possession, something happens in the build-up, that always happens. So you can always say that was somebody else's fault. But I think with Villa, we're just not, I don't even say switched on at the back, but it was concerning a little bit in the second half when we got back to, even when we was 3-2, you could have nicked, I think, straight afterwards when he hit the bar. And again, his physicality brushed off Pau Torres and should have probably scored. So I think, to be fair, Watkins and Calvert-Lewin both should have had hat-tricks yesterday. I think if they'd have walked off the pitch arguing about the match ball, I think you wouldn't have been surprised, the amount of chances that were created by both teams. So, yeah, it was I really enjoyed the game. It was a proper good old-fashioned, game where, it was swaying one way and the other. And if you'd have nicked a draw at the end, I don't think anybody would have, been said you weren't deserved of the draw. But I think based on possession, Villa probably edged it, and we took our chances ultimately. I think that's all that matters, isn't it, I suppose?
I'm going to move away from the Villa point of view and we'll end on a bit of chat about ourselves. But before I do, my only hope yesterday going into it was that you may have an eye on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday you play at Young Boys.
Yes.
I thought if Villa rest someone, or if someone on the pitch of Villa is thinking, I want to play the Champions League, I don't really want to play against Everton. I didn't see much of that last night. I thought you were really good on the ball, and just your opinion on the game itself. What's your final opinion on last night, and how much are you looking forward to Tuesday?
One thing you'll never ever see an Unai Emery team do is think past the next game. That is one of his main mantras. We are only interested in our next game, regardless of what the game after is. Could be a cup final. He just wants to concentrate on that game, and that's the only way you can, properly really address every single game as it comes. Because if you're thinking of 1, 2, 3 games ahead, like you say, you can take your mind off it.
Yeah.
We've had a good start to the season. I'm pleased we've got off the mark at home after, we played really well against Arsenal and we didn't pick anything up against them. Again, missed chances for us. We could have been 2 up before they scored. 2 good away wins. We're sitting 3rd in the league, joint 2nd on points. Can't really moan. And we've got Champions League football on Tuesday night. So, as a Villa fan, there's not a lot to be unhappy about at the moment. So, yeah, we are looking forward to the next few weeks. And we've got a big derby next week against Wolves at home. So, really good week coming up.
I think you're a little bit, I'm not just saying this because you're on the show, I think you are a little bit the blueprint of what we as a club should be looking at, because it wasn't a million years ago that you guys were in a bit of trouble yourselves. You were out the division and the ownership problems.
A lot of trouble.
I think when you went down, I think from the outside, I thought Sheffield Wednesday. That could easily happen. Leeds, that could easily happen. And I think that could happen to us. Do you see similarities in where we are now as to where you were? And obviously you're quite 100%. The hoping.
100%. Yeah, I think we were 24 hours away from going out of business, let alone, struggling. So it was only really due to the look of the draw, I suppose, whatever. We finally got took over by good ownership. We had 2 after Doug Ellis, who had us forever. We went to Randy Lerner, who started well and just ended up pulling the plug on the finances and walked away. Sold it to a total charlatan in Tony Gier, who turned out to be just full of nothing, all talk, nothing, and then basically nearly took us out of business. And then, it was only really the being bought out by proper good owners that turned us around. And I think for Everton, that's got to be the hope. You've just got to make sure the next people through the doors that take the club over are the right ones. And there's no way of knowing, Ian. There's just no way of knowing. We didn't know when these, when they took over, Nassif Suarez and Wes Edens, they said within 4 years, we want to be in the Champions League. And obviously, every ownership comes in and says that. We're in the Champions League.
Yeah.
There ain't many times that's going to happen in anybody's career following a football team, but all I can give Everton fans footy is hope. You're a massive side. You're a fantastic club. You're going into a beautiful stadium. Yes, I get the emotional attachment to Goodison Park. It's going to be a hard one to come to terms with over the next 2, 3, 4 years. But over time, you will become in love with your new stadium. I'm sure it'll happen. You're gonna need special nights, special games, special things to turn that stadium into your stadium. But Everton aren't going anywhere, mate. You may even go down, but you'll be back and you'll be amongst the big boys again at some point. That was always my hope with Villa, and I think that'll happen at some point with Everton. Things go in cycles, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, I think you are a bit of the hope and the model. You look at Villa in the Champions League, and it looks to be like the start that you made. You're going to be fighting for it again. I think you're going to be competitive in this year's Champions League as well. How far you go, I don't know. I think there'll be a bit of luck involved if you do go really far,
Absolutely, yeah.
like any club, really. But you are the hope. You've touched on the ground there. I think, from my point of view, I think it's you can't help it, but it's just the wrong time to move. We don't have a competitive team, and if you start the season not great in a new stadium, other teams get comfortable in it. I think we're in a bit of the period I'm in as an Evertonian now. I know I'm going to look back on and go, that was a bad period, and I'm living it right now. So you are the beacon of hope. I do hope that we can get an owner in and who has ambition and a plan to get the right people in, which I think is important what Villa have done. You've got the right people in charge at different areas of the football club. Just on the game itself, just on the Everton point of view, what did you make of Everton last night? I mean, I talk about it every week, so our listeners will be used to what my opinion is. But just for clarity, I'll give you. I think Sean Dyche is in hot water. I appreciate the job he's done. He has got the crappy end of the stick with deductions and board problems and players being sold and not being given all the funds to reinvest. He's suddenly found himself with a Carabao Cup game on Tuesday being really, really important. That's Southampton at home. Because yes, we've had a difficult start. We've had Tottenham away, Villa away, Brighton at home. It was the Bournemouth at home result that's really hurt him. It was the fact that we didn't really lay glove on Tottenham. The second half performance against Brighton. I think I'm smart enough to realise that Villa were always the favourites last night. However, another loss extends the run.
Yeah.
From you looking at Everton and where we are, would you think that maybe a change of manager would help us, or you're stepping back and looking at it, the bigger picture? Would you say that Sean Dyche has got enough to keep Everton up this season despite the start?
Oh dear, $64 million question. From what I saw yesterday, I don't think Everton are going down, regardless of whether you change the manager or not. I think there was enough there. I think you've got enough quality still to be okay. The question with the Dyche issue is he the right manager to get the best out of the players you've got? Is the style of play that he implements into every team is that the right way now for Everton to maximise the players you've got at your disposal? I think he was the right manager when he came in, and I think he did a good job for you now. But I think, given the attacking threat you possess, he's not really an attacking manager, is he?
No.
So I was massively impressed with him. Dyche, I thought he was excellent. Yes, he was up against a very sort of Bogard is not sort of he's a youth team player that's having to play in that right back role. He's actually a centre half by trade, and I thought Dyche really had you on toes for a lot of that first half. McNeil, good player. Jack Harrison, good player. They're not top end Premier League players, but they're sort of good enough. I think key for me is if Calvert-Lewin can replicate what he did yesterday, week in, week out, then you've got a centre forward there that's going to score goals, and ultimately in the Premier League, that's all you need really to be successful. You need Brathwaite back. I think that's another question. Definitely. Be interested to see what Broja does from Chelsea if we get him fit. But I think you've got enough. Yeah, I do. The question is, how long do they stick with Dyche before they pull the trigger? If this run carries on, it's not going to be long. And then, who do you bring in? That's the
there's only one person they'd bring in, and that would be David Moyes.
Right.
It was 100%. There's already, as you know, when things don't go right with your manager, there's always look back at the good times and you think, can we get that back? And the good times under Moyes were qualifying for Europe. we're doing well in cup competitions, and we're a million miles away from that. But I think any manager who comes in to the football club at the minute is going to have the same limitations. They're going to have an interim board above them who can't really make a decision to support. The director of football, Kevin Thelwell, as well as Sean Dyche, they're both out of contract at the end of this season. How far ahead are they planning with a few months left on their deal? I think it's a really tough job for anybody at the minute, but I appreciate what Sean Dyche has done. I just don't think he helps himself at times. I just think his substitutions. I think he changed the system about 2 or 3 times last night, and it's stunk of panic.
Panic, yeah. I was just going to say that was the word that struck into my mind. I mean, to basically put the white flag up at 2-2 and say let's just take 2-2 now and go away. But having said that, you did create a couple of chances. It could have been different if you'd have took your chances. And then we'd be sitting here talking about an amazing away win, a big side, currently doing really well. So I don't know. Football is it's a very brittle business, isn't it? But I think based on everything you've said, and if Moyes is definitely available, I think it's never always the best idea to go back. But given the situation you are in and what he did for you when he was there the first time, I think that connection between you and the fans and him could just be that spark that could lead to a mini revival and, mid-table, which at the moment for Everton is, given the circumstances off the pitch, would be a win, wouldn't it?
It would, and unfortunately, it might need that at some point if Sean Dyche can't get Everton going again.
Yeah.
And he ended last season really well. He ended last season with I think it was 4 or 5 home wins, and one of those was a Merseyside derby.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, when you win a derby, you roll the team off, you go over, you're incredible. Yeah. And he's had moments like that. It's just he's in a difficult moment.
Unfortunately for Everton at the moment, it's treading water, isn't it? You just tread, and that's a very horrible place to be in as a football fan, where you just see, just can we nick a point there? Can we get a win there? Let's not try and lose too many when we go there. I've been there, I've seen it. So it's one of them. I don't know where he's gone. I was just talking to all the Everton fans while you've gone.
It's one of those weekends. Together at the end. Still recording. Yeah. So look, it has been great to get you back on. I always enjoy speaking football. I could actually drive down to Birmingham one day and have a few pints with you and talk about football.
No problem. Anytime, mate.
I'm sure we'll book that in. We'll try and get you back on for the Goodison game more towards the end of the season. I look forward to that. But
last time at Goodison,
so you have to get down. And if you do get down, we'll have a couple of beers pre-match.
I'll try and get up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good day, and you can pop into our studio as well. We've got a studio not too far, so you can do some recording in there as well. But no, it's been great to get you on. It's the first away fan review that we've done, and it's just been one of those, hasn't it? It's been a proper Everton. I was always going to come on and do a review that we here we go again. A review that we lost, and StreamYard just go mad on us. But I know what you do when you come on this channel is you bring some Villa fans with you, and maybe they're finding you on the hashtag that we've put in. Anyone who's not following you and the Up the Villa channel, they should be. But let them know what you've got coming up, what you're all about.
Yeah, we've just dropped our debrief from the Everton game, and we've just recorded for the first time ever on our channel a Champions League preview for the Young Boys game on Tuesday night. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, and then my ticket for Bayern Munich the week after has just dropped in my inbox as well. So got that to look forward to the week after. So yeah, 2 Champions League game and a derby against Wolves to come. It's going to be an interesting few weeks.
I'm going to be watching that. Anyone who's not, any Villa fans who are with us, it's Up the Villa. Get over there on the Twitter and the YouTube. It's a really good channel. I'll be watching some of your content as well this week. Really getting behind Villa. I wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thanks, I really hope that you do bits in the Champions League, because I think as a fan base, I think you're top fans. I've always said when you come to Goodison, there's never no trouble. You're just noisy, good fans, similar to ourselves. So I do wish you all the best. I really hope you do something in the Champions League.
No, thanks for having me on, Ian. Always good to talk to you, and good luck to Everton for the rest of the season.
Cheers, mate. Anyone who's watching, any Blues who are still with us, God love you and thank you so much. Please hit the buttons below, which is a like button, a share button, a subscribe button, and there's also a notification button. If you press that, anytime we do a show, you'll get a ping to your YouTube app on your phone. We really appreciate you joining us, Toffees. It's a tough moment. We're back this week. Southampton are home in the Cup. Leicester away on Saturday. What can go wrong? Up the Toffees.